hateful people whom I used to call friends who have been all over the internet trying to shame me and say that no one should ever listen to this program again because I haven't spoken out on the Erika Candace conflict. I don't have any pearls of wisdom other than go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. You have no fucking clue what's going on. You don't know what I do behind the scenes. And your world is so myopically online. You fail to understand there are real humans involved here. And actually being able to touch grass and have relationships with them, which is something I'm doing, could prove to actually benefit all involved. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't at all. But it's at least got a shot. I'm not sure your Twitter shame game has gotten anything of value done.
Wow. All right, folks. What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all as you watch this broadcast. It's time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ along with Nicole. How are you doing tonight, Nicole?
Girl, I barely made it. I made it. I'm
good. Yes, as you guys know, we generally don't do Tuesday nights, but we had to come on here and bring you the latest news with TPUSA, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly. We are also going to talk about the viral video of the elderly lady in Target who was cussed out pretty much for wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt. We are also going to talk about congressional Republicans are claiming they are finally going to start passing, or I should say codifying, some of President Trump's executive orders. Also, President Trump is supposed to be live right now. Forgot to mention that to producers. Producers, if you could find that stream, we want to bring that on as well. He is making an announcement tonight. He's scheduled to do that at 9 p.m. We want to bring that to you all live. Also, this is Pop and Politics. All right. Again, I'm KJ along with Nicole. Shelly is out tonight. She is on her way to AmFest. So hopefully she will see so many of you there. Before we light this fire, do your part, tap that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications. We are live here on YouTube. If you're on the go, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat, folks. Tonight we're bringing people on with us. So we already have some people in the background. We're going to have a lively panel discussion tonight on all of these topics and more. We want to bring you guys up with us to share your thoughts on Candace Owens, on what's going on with congressional Republicans and more. We're going to bring everyone up just a few minutes. Before we do, again, we love our chat. We shout out every super chat. So drop your thoughts, show your love, and join the conversation that the mainstream media wishes didn't exist. We already have a super chat here tonight. Thank you so much, Gail Smiley, with the $20 super chat. Says Candace threw a tantrum like a baby and got what she wanted. I'm disgusted with Megyn, and she owes Ben a hell of an apology. She also needs to explain why she's ghosting Dave Rubin. I'm so furious by all of this. Gail, I am too. I'm furious, and I'm really just turned off by everybody right now, but we're going to get into it. All right, folks. So again, the best way to get your voice heard in the conversation is to super chat. So again, drop your thoughts, show your love, and join the conversation that the mainstream media, everybody doesn't want us talking, folks. We are not mainstream. We are like you all. We are searching for the truth. And we're not bought. We are not famous, so we're not holding on to fame. You know, we're just here searching. We love this country. We love the truth. We're patriots. And we are like you all. We want the truth. We want the truth. And we want this country to thrive. And right now, I want to say, and I want to get your thoughts on this before we get the panel on here, Nicole. I feel like fame and money are destroying people. and within the conservative movement, I really do. And I refuse to let that be my story personally. I'm praying every day that God keeps us grounded, humbled, and locked into his truth, not the world's truth, not a political party's truth, God's truth, because people are just they're very shifty. They are shifty tonight. We're gonna fact check Megyn Kelly tonight, folks. I'm on fire too. But let's get into this. So again, this is not just a podcast. This is a movement, as I mentioned, of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, before we get this panel on, I want to get your thoughts on what did you think after all we've been talking about? Erika Kirk and Candace have met. Megyn Kelly has come out. Candace had a show today we're going to go through. What are your thoughts, Nicole?
I'm so over this. I am so absolutely over it. Megyn jumping in did nothing but make the situation that much more convoluted. You know, it doesn't really matter to me at this point. You know, I want the truth. I want a nice trial. I want Charlie's assassin and anybody who was involved in it to be held accountable for their actions. But I also need time for Erika to heal, another conspiracy for Candace to chase, and Megyn can go back to doing, you know, her show, and everybody can just kind of push forward with their lives. But at this point, it seems like all the pigs are happy to roll around in the mud, and it's getting very distasteful, very, very distasteful.
Yep, you are absolutely correct. All right, so let's get some people on here to get feedback. I want to bring up Pastor David. Hey, Pastor David. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Thank you so much for joining. Before we get into all of this, please let the audience know Pastor Damon is on with me on KJ Christian Conservative every third. Well, we do it every Thursday and Sunday night, but he has been a real gift to us on Christian Conservative. He brings the biblical truth as we love, and he's fiery, folks, and he's a conservative. Please, Pastor Damon, share with this audience a little bit about what you do and also where people can find you.
Well, my name is Damon. I'm pastor at New Beginning Celebration in New Bern, and I also am a pastor in the community. And when I say that, I mean within the politics and government arena. We don't just pastor inside the four walls, but there are people that call for my services outside of our church more than a lot of the people in the church. But I'm an advocate for the conservative movement, for Republicans. And I want to see this country back to where it was. And I want to see it return to the Constitution. In fact, I am co-sponsoring a Constitution class for 10 weeks here in New Bern by Patriot Academy coach Ken Lacey. And he lives right over here in New Bern on, just a few miles down the road. So we're going to have a good time starting in January for 10 Saturdays in a row, baby. We're going to rock with the Constitution. And we're going to help some people learn some things.
Excellent.
Amazing.
We love it. We love it. And again, share where people can find you. I think I have it on YouTube and on Facebook.
Okay. YouTube is Celebrating New Beginnings. Celebrating New Beginnings. That's YouTube. And Facebook is New Beginnings Celebration, the name of the church. So again, Celebrating New Beginnings, YouTube, New Beginnings Celebration, Facebook. And listen, you can find everything we do. You'll find our North Carolina GOP 3rd Congressional District Christmas party just posted on our Facebook page. We don't hide it. We understand what the Constitution says that churches are allowed to do. So we're not a 501c3 church. When the Johnson Amendment came through in the late 60s about that stuff, you had to ask yourself a question. Well, what were the churches doing before that crap came about, right? They were still, tax exempt. So we didn't go that route, and we're tax exempt just like everybody else. So we fight the good fight wide open.
All right. Absolutely. Folks, we are asking if you do want to join us tonight right here, join the panel. You must have your camera on. So please keep that in mind. And we are bringing you guys up to sound off on what you feel, how you feel about this. So we have here Carolyn Cherry. How are you tonight?
Hey.
Can you hear us all right?
Good. It's
Oh,
so
good.
good to meet you guys. I love y'all so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching with us. So let's get into it, folks. Let's see here. So again, we're starting off with we're going to react to this Candace Owens and Erika Kirk meeting, as just to keep everybody in the loop, to let you know what happened. Erika Kirk she did meet with Candace Owens. Apparently they met for 4 hours. And they had a meeting, and they are talking about it. It's coming online. Candace Owens had a show today where she talked about it. Megyn Kelly says she facilitated this and has been working behind the scenes on this. And so I want to get your thoughts, Pastor Damon. Have you been following this story? And if so, what do you think about what's going on?
Well, the parts of it that I've been able to catch, and again, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be with y'all tonight. This is strange on a Tuesday night on Pops and Politics. And Nicole,
No.
I love you too, girl. You're awesome. Yeah, you what I see is sliding. And that's what we call it when you have a particular stance and you want to stand strong on it, but there's this powerful person of influence that comes alongside, and you want to start people pleasing, and so you'll create within yourself a reason to slide and somehow or another find little divots or cracks to justify your sliding to make it look like you're trying to do the right thing, but. She has this. Megyn Kelly's got to be careful because you can kind of read right through her. She has this fake strength that really doesn't amount to anything but running water sometimes. So that's all I see. I pay Megyn Kelly about that much attention, and whenever she starts running her mouth, I listen to a little bit of it. Then I can't take it anymore, and I get away from her.
Yeah, I want to get you ladies in. I want to play this next clip where she talks about the meeting a little bit more. This is clip 3.
Many of my viewers have been wondering why I haven't said anything, given my previous statements about Erika. And the reason is that I have been working behind the scenes to try to foster a détente between them. Erika called me weeks ago and asked me if I would be part of this sit down with them, which originally they had contemplated might be for consumption by the public, might air in some way, shape, or form, and asked if I would facilitate that meeting between the two of them. And I said yes immediately. Of course I would. I reached out to Candace. She said, absolutely. I'm thrilled it's you. I'm in. And the two of them took it from there, trying to negotiate the specifics of what they'd both be comfortable with, where, when, etc. And eventually it changed after they hit some roadblocks. Again, that's for someone else to tell you about if they so choose. I understand my core audience knows who I am and would never have assumed the worst about me, that I was just abandoning Erika or getting ready to pounce on Candace and, insert myself into this on one side. I'm not getting ready to do that. And I don't want that. I don't think that's God's role for me here. I really fully believe God's role for me here is to possibly play a role in getting this whole thing to a better place. I think I might be in a position to help construct that. Maybe not. But sitting here in my studio in Connecticut, just slinging mud at one side or the other, or tearing people down, or, expressing my disgust, my outrage, that is pointless here. My goal and my job here, I think, is to try to understand, yes, where Candace is coming from on this. I know you're not supposed to say it. You're supposed to just immediately condemn her. But I love the Turning Point guys, and I don't believe for 1 second any of them had anything to do with Charlie's murder. Not for 1 second do I believe that. So people who care about Candace and love Erika have been in a tough position as this whole thing has escalated, and care about Turning Point, which I deeply do. And I will make sure that their legacy is not destroyed. And I will do everything within my power to help them thrive, including supporting my own kids in forming a Turning Point chapter and going out to AmFest and helping headline that event and encouraging everyone I know within the conservative movement to go and support them and to donate.
Okay. Carolyn, I want to get your thoughts on this, what we saw so far. What did you think?
I honestly think she may be afraid of Candace. I mean, I wouldn't want to get into her crosshairs. I think Megyn, we expect her to be outspoken and to choose a side. And I think she's not doing that. I think she's trying to navigate the two relationships. But at this point, we need to choose a side, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
And right is right and wrong is wrong. And I cannot back Candace at all. She's wrong.
Yeah. I agree. I see we have Kung Fu CJ just came on. What are your thoughts on all of this, Kung Fu CJ?
I'm gonna be honest. It's a minstrel show. Basically, the people who are into it wanted to see this happen. Now that it's happened, and you had a mediator or moderator in between, so now everybody's asking, okay, now we want to know what they talked about. Period. They just want to know what they talked about, so then they can grab their narrative and run off to their followers.
Yeah. I thought some of the things Megyn said were really interesting. So she said she feels God has placed her in this role to, I guess, be a facilitator or mediator for both sides, and to make sure the legacy, TPUSA's legacy, is not destroyed. The legacy is destroyed. It's on its way. If she was going to be a facilitator or a mediator, not one time did she push back on anything Candace had said. She still hasn't really. She still has not pushed back. She put one video out, I believe it was Friday, where she was pushing back. She never named Candace, but she said people are saying that we want more from the FBI and from the authorities to answer more questions. And she came out, Megyn Kelly, and she came out and said that's not what the FBI does. But for months, Candace Owens has been accusing Charlie Kirk's family, TPUSA. She said nothing. Candace Owens has been tearing down that legacy brick by brick. Okay. And so she thinks by her being a headliner at AmFest, this is going to help the legacy. Come on. I mean, I just don't believe this. I really don't. And I want to get into a little bit more of what she said, okay? Because this is this is BS, folks. This is BS. And I'm going to try to keep my composure, okay? Because Pastor David, this is not Christian conservative.
I was about to say, go ahead and that's
I'm going to try to keep my composure. Look at this video she put out, and I want to go through this with you all to talk about what she said here. Let me see here. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. And this is a longer video, but she really goes off on what occurred today and what has been occurring.
Is this, I don't know if you want to call it a feud or what, between Candace Owens and Erika Kirk has been heating up, that I would have something to say on it in the coming days, and I do. It's been going on now for a while where Candace, I had that exchange with Ben Shapiro out on the tour where he said she'd accused Erika of orchestrating Charlie's murder. And I was taken aback. I had not heard that. And then in the interim, between that day and the next, I had my staff go research exactly what she had said. And then somebody just happened to ask me a question about it. Truly was not, that was totally organic. That was not a plant by me at all, but somebody asked me about it the very next night. And I actually told them, because I'd been planning on saying something on the show since Ben had made the accusation. And if it was not true, I did not want to be having something that heavy hanging out there. Someone asked about it and I said, that's actually not true. And at that time, it was not true. Candace had not accused Erika of orchestrating Charlie's murder. And I've gotten a lot of grief for saying that, but I was correct. We are relentlessly factual here on this program, and she had not done that at the time. As I pointed out at the time, she had impugned Turning Point, and I realized Erika is CEO, but she wasn't until after Charlie died. So, saying the guys at Turning Point had done something prior to Charlie's death is not the same as saying Erika Kirk.
Okay. Folks, come on. Wow. Pastor Damon, isn't this woman, I don't even know what the term for it is. Somebody help me. She is being very deceptive there.
She's being an attorney. That's what she's being. These are her lawyer skills. She is what we call a waffler, right? A flip-flop in politics. She's playing both sides of the fence. This is precisely what she's doing. And she's doing it poorly. So,
very good call. Very good call, Nicole. We have the clip. I want to show you guys of what Candace Owens actually said. Now, this is one of the times that she called out TPUSA, and she inferred that Erika Kirk was also involved in the assassination. All right. Let me see here. Do I have that clip? All right. Let me see. 1 second. Okay. So many screens here. Where am I? Okay, there we go. Take a look at this. You all tell me if this isn't Candace inferring that Erika Kirk and all of his family and friends had something to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Nothing in Charlie's life was real. It's just something that keeps me up at night. Just nothing in his life was real. Like everyone's just like, oh, let's just move on.
Charlie was betrayed by everyone, she says.
It's so crazy to want to figure out what happened. Let's just start issuing gag orders. And the way to honor him is to give money. I don't know. There's just something really sick and demonic about the entire thing.
It's looking to me like the apparent plan was to assassinate Charlie Kirk, who had at long last faltered on the pro-Israel cause. Okay, his words, not mine. And then to stage a hostile takeover of his brand and of his legacy.
Turning Point USA, the conservative grassroots organization co-founded by Kirk, announcing his widow Erika will take over as the group's CEO.
There's two things happening here. There's a widow, and then there is the chairman and the CEO, and she has assumed that role. Okay, so criticisms pertaining to anything at Turning Point USA that are being directed at Erika are fair. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving. But I'm starting to think that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would have never approved of.
He left me a blueprint. And
these videos were taken in November. These were things she said in November, folks, around November 10th. This was well before Ben Shapiro accused her of saying these things.
All of his journals, but more so than that, I was his vault for literally everything. He shared everything with me, his vision, his dreams.
In the event of his untimely death, like, he in the third notebook, he was like, oh, and if I accidentally get shot on campus, here's what you should do. Call Erika. And then after you call Erika, come find this notebook. And in this notebook, you'll see that I am using adjectives like fantastic and heroic to describe Mikey McCoy.
My husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
Why are you doing that? Why do I feel like you're trying to program me? And if during this process of our imagination, common sense comes on and we're like, but wait, Charlie, wasn't he like a boy genius? He's a pretty bright kid. Wouldn't he have maybe formalized that succession plan outside of like a diary? Maybe call one of his many lawyers, maybe formalize it in a will, because that's what you're supposed to do if you are thinking about dying and you need to make a plan. You make a will. I'm sure he had a will, but no, he wanted to put it in these notebooks.
So I wanted to play that for you all. We have some more people in here. Logic has joined. Thank you so much from Just the Guys, and he's here at Metro Conservative Media. We got a lot of people here. You all talk to me. I want to get your opinion on this, Logic. Isn't that not her basically insinuating that everyone around Charlie Kirk was involved in this assassination?
I mean, if you say everyone, what does that mean? You know, to me, logically, right? That's my name. Looking at this logically, that's what it is. But to me, this is like high school drama. I mean, the stakes are bigger, and God rest his soul. Charlie Kirk definitely would not have liked to see him assassinated. He was a Christian warrior that definitely is an example to us all. But outside of this, the Megyn Kelly, the Candace Owens, this whole thing is like fighting for to be the what do you call it, the homecoming queen on the high school football team, on the high school football game. To me, that's what really this boils down to. We don't ever grow up, right? Like all the things that all the like regulations and everything you see at work, all the OSHA stuff, it's all written at a fifth grade level because we don't grow up, right? So this is another example of real world playing out, and we've never left high school. That's what I see.
So does everyone agree with that? Do you all believe that this is just high school things? It's not really that important. I want to get you in on this, Crystal. I see you nodding. Hey, and please shout out your channel. Let everybody know who you are.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Crystal Beyond Labels. I discuss everything from current events, pop culture, everything from a biblical worldview. So I will say, yes, it is definitely, what is going on is serious, because I see from a spiritual view, it is very serious from a spiritual lens, because again, a lot of the way she's speaking, she is, I will say, inviting darker feelings within people. And people are receiving this darkness. There are a lot of people. I've received messages on all of my different platforms from people who say that spiritually, they have started to build hate and bitterness in their heart because of things that she has said, and they're not used to this. And then you have people who are supposed to be followers of Christ that are standing with her, that are calling those who don't stand with her fake Christians, and they're becoming accusers of the brethren and things of that nature. So it's very dark. How she's making it out, it seems very high schoolish, that mean girl type of mentality, but it has a heavier spiritual consequence, because there's a lot of people that are really going into dark places because of this.
Absolutely. Candace Owens has a large platform. Now, not to say this is okay, but she spoke on religious and she was conservative issues. And so people who are not as strong-minded as we are following behind what she says, not only about, the Catholicism, which Pastor Damon, we've talked about this, time and time again. She's spreading a lot of hate against Israel, against Jews. And then you bring in the Turning Point USA, which she's brought in the Jew hate and all that into that as well. I want to get you in on this. Jessica, yes, I see you here. Thank you so much for joining. How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm good. I had to be here to join y'all.
Yes.
How's Mackenzie?
I'm hoping she's asleep in bed because she got school in the morning.
Okay. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah. And we're just, again, we're talking about the outcomes, the reaction, not so much the reaction, the results of this. And what are people thinking about Megyn Kelly? I want to get our super chatters here because we got a lot here. I want to thank you guys so much for being patient. I want to shout you all out. Kung Fu CJ is right here. He says, my phone sucks. I can't hear. Oh, you can't hear? Hear us now?
Better now.
Okay. Laura says, Pastor Damon, KJ, and Nicole. Hey, Laura. All right, Deborah, Megyn Kelly, beware. Yeah. Laura says both Candace and Erika will figure this out. I hope so. I pray to God they do. Josh with the $20 super chat. Hey fam, I know Candace gets clicks, but we are all getting played by the globalists. This is their plan to divide coalition that elected President Trump. Don't fall for it. It's only about the midterms. Welcome, Pastor. All right, Josh. Thank you.
Josh.
Yeah, do we have President Trump's he's supposed to come on at 9.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, 9 on
thank you, Nicole. Monica with the $10 super chat says, love you ladies. As much as I hate to be angry, disgusted within Candace Owens, I am over this and want to focus on midterms and making policy change to outcast Islam in our country. Yes, indeed. Yes. Michelle says, fact check everyone. Thank you so much, Michelle. That's my co-host on Christian Conservative. All right. Deborah says, Candace is evil, makes me sick. Absolutely. Yeah, she does. And let's talk about that. So we kind of talked about Megyn Kelly's reaction. We brought up some of the older clips of what Candace has said in the past. But what was her reaction to after the meeting today? Well, she started out today's show really just giddy. I mean, she is on cloud 9, if anyone saw it. And she started out today playing Jewish music. She was kind of making fun of, because people were thinking that she was going to be totally different and I guess have some type of manipulation by the Jews. And so she starts off today's show really just, I mean, she was just so happy, and she started playing a Jewish tune. Actually, we have the clip here. Let me see. And this is really kind of, I thought it was distasteful because over the last several days we've had multiple attacks on the Jewish community in Australia, in California, in Amsterdam, in I think Florida today. I mean, all over the place we've had attacks on Jews as we saw Hanukkah. Say again, Nicole?
It's Hanukkah.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
This is not just inappropriate. This is her trolling. This is her showing us that the demons that live deep within are alive and active. She thinks she's got something by the tail, and this is her showing off.
Yeah, here she is. Take a look, and you guys tell us what you think. This is how she opened the show today.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay?
So she was on cloud 9 today. I mean, she was so excited, so happy about what occurred. It was distasteful. It was weird. What are your thoughts on that panel? Logic, what did you think? How do I get this off? Hello? Oh
yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Man, like what I saw there is just like pure evil. And I used to like Candace.
So did I.
And I just take things for what it is. But like she has been brilliant in creating this narrative and getting people to follow, because people, we're so blessed to live in the country of America that, we need a good story, and people are following this story and gotten attached to it and gotten emotionally involved, invested. And, she's really playing on people's emotions, and it's deceptive. It's evil. And, what I saw just there, man, it's pure evil. I don't think I need any more words to say other than it's just evil.
Yeah, we have someone else was just added to the panel. How are you? Please state your name, and you can shout out what you think about what we're talking about.
Hi, my name is Abigail. You guys are my therapy group.
Oh,
sweet.
I am neither Christian nor conservative, but I love you guys so much. Yeah, Candace Owens is batshit crazy. Excuse me, I'm not a Christian. Yeah. She's, I don't even know. I took notes because I wanted to tell you all my thoughts. Okay, no, really, I just think that this woman is like she did her narcissistic garbage of like crying like a baby, like a toddler, and everybody fed into her. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Pastor Damon, what are your thoughts on what we're talking about? Again.
Well, she finally got the attention that she had been craving to feed her narcissistic demons. And so now she comes on and then she does the trolling thing. But I've got news for her. She thinks that this was humorous, but the Bible does say in Genesis chapter 12, verse 3, I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you, when God is talking to Abram about leaving his family. And so now, when you start to poke this kind of fun at the Lord, because basically that's who she's trolling. And I don't think she really has a clue as to what she's doing, because this is based on the word of God. Well, she's really trolling God. And I'm reminded when Saul was doing his thing in the book of Acts to the church, when Jesus had to knock him off his beast, he says, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? See, whenever you mess with the Lord's children, you're messing with the Lord. A lot of people don't understand that. When you would go out and if I saw a kid looking like he's going to do something to my son, he was messing with me, because daddy showed up in a hurry. And so, but she got her demons fed. So now she's like you said, on cloud 9. She is loving this attention. And man, I tell you what, I wish the show would shut down. But we got to continue to just do what we did the other night, pray.
Yeah, I want to ask you all your thoughts, because I watched her whole show. And so, I mean, she basically she's feeling triumphant. She said Erika, voiced how she was learning things from Candace Owens. She also said that Barry Weiss, remember Erika was on with Barry Weiss over the weekend. They did a long form interview. She mentioned how Barry Weiss was pro-Israel, and that's why she was put on CBS. She didn't recant many of her suspicions. She really did not recant. She's continued to say she can't ignore her gut. She still does not believe that the person who was arrested for the assassination of Charlie Kirk did it. She still does not trust many of the people within TPUSA, to include Tyler Boyer and Rob McCoy. And she doesn't feel any differently about the people she mentioned that were shady at TPUSA. So, I mean, where do we go from here? And when I say we, I mean, how can, let's just say, and then Megyn Kelly came out today and pretty much said she's closer to Candace Owens now after all of this. I mean, it feels to me that many of these people are affirming Candace Owens. Nicole, did you get that?
What I got is she's afraid. So here's the thing. For people who are not used to spiritual warfare, because I said this for the last 3 consecutive shows that we talked about this, you cannot be weak and battle demons. They will seduce you. And this is what you're seeing. I've said, and I'm quoting myself here, I hate to do that, but Shelly ain't here to back me up. The Shells will say, people watch our show, and this is the kind of thing that happens. When you have someone like Candace who brings all the demons from hell with her, you can't be a weak, nurturing, although lovely Christian and do battle with that. You need somebody who's dressed in the full armor of God with a warrior spirit to chop that demon up and dance on its damn grave. But no one at TPUSA seems to have that spirit except for Charlie. So if we're going to take this back to the beginning, they should have chin checked her when she opened her mouth about this. This is some woman's dead husband. Shut up. It is not your place. You want to do an investigation, do it on your free time. But what you're not going to do is dog out his legacy, because let's call it what it is. He fired your ass. Let's not sugarcoat it. You were not good enough. He didn't choose you. You were not good enough to be his wife. He chose a wife. And all of this hate and jealousy is pouring out of you. And it's coming across and it's given weird, weak, whack, jealous, all of that. But her followers are so caught up, so seduced by the thought that she may be on to something.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing she did with Brigitte Macron, the same thing she's doing to Erika Kirk. And let me tell you, Megyn Kelly has been thoroughly seduced by the demons that surround this evil woman. It's going to take somebody with some spiritual know-how to chop that thing up and call it what it is. TPUSA, I'm telling you, call me for Shelly's number. She'll come over, cuss her out. It'll be a wrap, and y'all can move on with y'all lives.
Yeah.
One day contract. That's all it's going to take.
I agree with you, Nicole.
Oh God. Oh God.
Uncle CJ, what were you going to say?
I'm gonna give you an example. I had divorced my son's mom, and I was getting remarried. And my son's mom did everything to try to mess up everything. And then when she finally realized none of that worked, she took me to court for child support, even though I was given, every time my son came with me, when he left with a check. And so when I get to the child support office, the mediator asks, can you afford $357 a month? This is back in the early 90s now. We're in the 90s, late 90s. And so I says, yeah, but am I paying it to her father or to her? Because he lives with his father. The mediator cut short the mediation and says, we're going to have to let the judge decide. And what happened? She didn't show up for court. Basically, Candace is like my ex-wife. She thought that Charlie was going to be with her. Every time you seen Charlie 6-7 years ago, you seen Candace. Everywhere. Wherever he was, she was. Unfortunately, he didn't choose her. Right? And then when he didn't choose her, he had to fire her because she was getting bent out of shape. PragerU let her go. What was the other one? The Daily Caller? Daily Wire let her go. Why? Because she is toxic. Then she marries a Catholic. Remember the Catholic apologist you had on Christian Conservative?
Oh yes, Patrick. From
I'm subscribed to his channel, and he put out a new short where the Catholic priest tells the Protestants you're not saved because you don't take the sacraments right, you don't obey this rule, and you don't obey that rule. And I'm listening to him, and it's coming to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, they are the false prophet that's mentioned in the Revelation.
So you're saying you believe that it's because she has converted to Catholicism?
Oh, definitely. Think about this. I've been to Rome. Oh, there go Michelle.
Yeah, hey Michelle, how's it going? Michelle has entered the panel.
I've been to Rome. And because I was in the military, I've been all over the place. In the bottom of the Vatican is all the pagan gods they used to serve. All the documents, all of the ancient rituals of paganism, they're all in the bottom of the Vatican. They even have a statue of Moloch in the bottom of the Vatican. And if you don't know who Moloch is, he is the god, he is the destroyer. This is where women or families would have to sacrifice a baby.
Yeah.
And they put him in his hands and they heat the hands up. They would cover the ears of the father so he wouldn't hear the cries of his son.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before. We have mentioned this on Christian Conservative. We've done a whole series on Islam, on Catholicism. Definitely, you all need to go and check that out. We have Michelle just joined. Hi, Michelle. She is my co-host on Christian Conservative. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hello, everybody. And you guys have been fantastic. What a day. I agree with all the comments made by the panel so far. This was just, one more peg to this game. It's like playing a board game with my kids. I'm just looking for another spin of the dice, another turn of the wheel. It's been crazy.
Yeah, it really has. And I want to ask you, I mean, I know you've been following this as well. And I asked this earlier. Do you think that where we are today, the reaction Megyn Kelly has had, Candace has had, do you think that this hurts TPUSA? Does this help them? What do you think that this does now?
I don't think either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to hurt. I don't think it's going to help. I think Turning Point USA is literally at a turning point. There was a tragedy. We all know, we've talked about it. And we're still talking about it. And Turning Point is finding a new audience. So it's going to have to kind of rediscover and reinvent itself anyways. And, in politics, and I know Nicole knows that, publicity is publicity. So they're getting a lot of people watching them. And I think that they are smart enough. They have a team smart enough to know how to navigate these waters. So let that be. But Candace is still, again, she's just off a rocker. She's just out of control. She's out of line. And the clip earlier with Megyn, she was tap dancing like she was a professional over things that she has said. She was just putting on a whole show. And it's just sad. At this point, it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
Looking like Sammy Davis Jr.
Right. Yeah. Crystal, what do you think as far as when we're talking about Candace? So, she had her show today. She's ecstatic about how things have turned out. The way she's saying is, she held her ground with this meeting, and she actually is saying, insinuating that Erika agreed with some of the things she said. Do you think she's going to stop? Do you think she's going to continue? Where do you think she goes from here? Candace Owens.
So we met the other night and I told you about 3.5 years with a narcissist that I spent in a relationship with a narcissist. And I left that relationship with a PhD in narcissism. So I can tell you right now, she heard what she wanted to hear. It doesn't have to actually be what she's claiming, because she's going to spin the story however she chooses to spin that story. And the thing I want people to realize is this is not about TPUSA. This is not about Charlie Kirk. This is spiritual warfare at its finest, because we have the spirit of Islam trying to take over the United States of America. Let's just be real. We have the Democrats currently getting their stuff together, and they're watching the backbiting and the fighting, the infighting here on the right. And they're like, yep, they're weak, they're divided, we are going to conquer. No, people aren't even focused on the midterms. They're so focused on this back and forth situation that's happening right now. So I want people to take a step back, get out of these feelings, because to me, and I agree with Kung Fu, because I call it false prophet media, because that's what it is. They're telling you what they want you to pay attention to. And then we are going to turn around and we will look up and we will have everything that we never wanted. We will have the Dems taking back over. We will have the Islam running. We'll have Sharia law in the United States if people keep going that route. And I just want to add, when we look at Candace Candace, I stopped listening to, I still listen to her, but I'm saying that I had stopped the consistent listening to her about 5 months ago. And it's crazy to me because a lot of people that I know who was in support of her, it was almost like the Holy Spirit told all of them 5 months ago, stop. Because a lot of people stopped the consistent listening to her. And we were all getting the same feeling. And this whole anti-Israel conversation, this anti-Semitic conversation that she was throwing around, she was wrapping everything around. She turned around and said something like, I want to apologize to the Muslim people because the real threat wasn't Israel. It was really the real threat wasn't Islam. It was really Israel. And she's been spinning all these things. She's been romanticizing the Islam. I just want people to be aware of that. So I think everything that is happening, it is part of that spiritual warfare so that all of that darkness can take over while we are all distracted. And that's what Candace's job in this is to do, distract us all.
You're very right, Crystal. And speaking of that, President Trump has just came out and called out Islamic terrorism. I want to bring this to you all very quickly, what he just said here. And then I want to expand on this.
The love and prayers to our entire nation, to the people of Australia, and especially all those affected by the horrific and anti-Semitic terrorist attack. And that's exactly what it is, anti-Semitic. That took place on a Hanukkah celebration in Sydney. What a terrible, terrible thing. We don't learn. We're joined in mourning all of those who were killed, and we're praying for the swift recovery of the wounded. Some are very horrifically wounded, as you probably know. All nations must stand together against the evil forces of radical Islamic terrorism, and we're doing that. Joining us tonight, our Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is doing a fantastic job. Representatives Paul Gosar, David Kutzoff, Claudia Tenney, Ronnie Jackson, he was my White House doctor. Ronnie was asked, who is the healthiest of all? Was it Barack Hussein Obama? Was it Sleepy Joe Biden? Or was it Donald Trump? And he said Trump was by far the healthiest. He was the doctor for all three of us, and he said Trump was by far the healthiest. I love him. If he didn't say that, I would never have talked to him again. Where is Ronnie? Is he here? Ronnie Jackson, what a great legend. Josh Gottheimer's here.
So again, that is President Trump called Islamic terrorism.
Yes, there she are.
Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yep. That was President Trump, as you just said, Crystal, calling out radical Islamic terrorism. I want to ask you, Pastor Damon, because we're all conservatives, I believe Christian conservatives. What do you think we need to do as I'll say community, as a nation, but I'm speaking particularly to Christian conservatives. What do we need to do right now? What do you think some of the first steps are to root out this radical Islamic terrorism? Oh, you're muted, Pastor Damon.
First of all, I think we need to continue to stand boldly. We need to continue to proclaim that the Bible is the inerrant word of God and that Jesus Christ is the only Savior. And we need to proclaim that religiously, quote unquote, throughout the atmosphere all the time. We still need to also take our stand to make certain that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan. We need to make certain that we as the righteous continue to engage our government officials and become counselors to them. Hey, listen, this is what's going on. And let me show you what the scriptures say, because we have enough Bible-believing Christians in our legislature, nationally and even statewide. I mean, there's 3 or 4 pastors that I know pretty much now almost personally here within the legislature in North Carolina. And you can go to these guys and you can show them what's going on with scripture. We have a lot of bold guys now down here that are using scripture to really help be their guide to keep things at a level pace. And I don't know, there's so much that they can't do, I suppose, but who they need is the pastors, and they need the church at large, Christians, to just stand up and be that platform to help open the way so that they can go ahead and get done what they have to get done. I just really think the church needs to grow up and be bold. And we're not being bold enough, as you know. I'm going to, the next protest that comes, I'm going to be right out there in the middle of it. I'm going to be shaking my tail feather and speaking the word into the atmosphere. We just have to take that kind of boldness and realize that God said, "Have no fear." I mean, or fear not. And 365 times in Scripture, He says, "Fear not." So, that's where I am, and that's what I believe we need to do.
Yeah. Nicole, what can we do as far as what can our legislators do? I know you have been a strong critic of the Republicans in Congress. They have not been doing enough to codify President Trump's agenda. And one of them is to push strongly against this radical Islam. What are your thoughts on that point?
I think what we're going to see from President Trump tomorrow, his fireside chat, is more directive. Again, the way Congress is structured, the moment that they're elected, it's a great day. The next day, they need to start raising money. They need to start working in their caucuses. So there's an inherent life that's in there that the American people never see. And sometimes they get mired in that. And this is where I talk about having a strong Speaker of the House makes legislation move forward, because it's the Speaker who sets the agenda. And when people kind of venture off, if you will, he's kind of like a pastor. When people kind of walk away from the flock, he goes out and he gets that one person and he brings them back. But when you do that, you can't lose sight that you've only passed 5 bills. You can't lose sight in that. You have to push forward. Leadership's not for everybody. Look, he's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a Bible believing person. Don't get me wrong. But it takes a different type of personality type to be the king among all of the other kings. The person who says, listen, I think, you're great on Fox. You're wonderful on Newsmax. Now get your butt in your chair. We're having a vote. And if you don't, you're coming off of Ways and Means, and I'll find some kind of paperclip straightening situation for you to do and mean it. This is what made Newt Gingrich very, very, very good as Speaker, because when he spoke, he did not have to raise his voice. He did not have to throw a temper tantrum. He just removed your power and told you to have a seat, kind of like parents do with children who act up. So we need these legislators to get very serious about passing legislation. They're going to hit the reset button, and hopefully everybody's going to come back from Christmas break gung-ho, ready to do the thing, because the midterms are now on top of them. We can look forward to the government shutting down simply because they have not gotten any closer on solving the healthcare crisis that they caused. The American people didn't cause this. This is, you have to pass the bill in order to find out what's in it. They did this to themselves. They're up against the wall. They're not good on controlling their time. It's a grave likelihood that January people will be unemployed again. Wow. Are we ready for that? No, we're not ready for that. But I agree with Pastor Damon that people have to be bold, not just the Christians among us, but the legislators. You were elected for a reason, not to work just for your caucus. You represent a group of American people who want things done. Get your damn work done. I don't know. I mean, why is this a difficult thing?
Well,
do work.
Speaker Johnson came out today and said that they are going to start to codify President Trump's executive orders. Take a look here. This is clip 1.
Very aggressive legislative agenda coming right out of the gates in January. We're going to continue to work, for example, on healthcare to continue to bring costs down for the American people, to bring down the cost of living overall. You're going to see an aggressive affordability agenda, and we're going to see continued codification of the president's executive orders. He's up to about 200 of those. Probably about 150 of them are codifiable by Congress, and we're working steadily through that list. You're going to see us delivering for the American people while the effects of that giant piece of legislation that we did on July 4th, got signed on July 4th, comes into implementation. So much more yet to do. And the president and I talk about that almost every day, and he's excited about it, and I am.
All right. We got Josh joining us. How are you tonight, Josh?
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Got the mic on? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
See you guys. Oh my God. And like see each other.
Thank you so much for all your support and joining us tonight. I'm going to throw you right in the fire. Do you believe what Speaker Johnson is saying?
You know what? I missed the clip while I was in the transition getting on live here, so I apologize.
Oh no, that's fine.
What the comment was. Go ahead.
Yes, so he is saying Speaker Johnson was doing a press conference earlier today, and he's saying that he believes the House Republicans will surge starting in January to codify up to 150 of President Trump's executive orders. Do you think they're going to work to do this?
I mean, God willing, let's hope that they can get it done. I mean, that would be the thing that probably what Crystal was talking about before is absolutely the most important thing we've got in front of us, which is the midterms and staying united and not letting all of this, as much as I love. I used to like Candace. I mean, I still kind of do like her, but I think she's gotten so psyoped by whoever in the globalist community is pulling these strings. I think they've got her in their grasp, and I'm just worried that division is going to seep through. So if we can get all of President Trump's executive orders codified and get those locked in, we are going to be so good for the midterms. That would be something that could really help us. Because think back when we were back in February, and Doge was ripping out USAID, and they were booting Zelensky out of the Oval Office. And I mean, I was jumping up and down on the couch, like cheering this on. I mean, we were all on this channel. Right. We were all so excited. Every day was like Christmas. Every day was something so spectacular. And this Candace thing is a great example, because it's all this drip of kind of nutty, weird, like what Pastor said was this kind of crazy, high school drama that we used to accuse the left of being kind of weird, all the trans stuff that is bizarre. We would say they were nuts, and I don't want them. I don't want the general public to start looking at us saying, "Wow, these people are kind of crazy. We need to go back to what we had before," which would be terrible. Good point. Very good point. I want to bring you in on this, Michelle. What are your thoughts on what Speaker Johnson said and the midterms, the upcoming midterm?
Well, I mean, best of luck. He's a great speaker. I love what he stands for, but these are items that should have been pushed through. And I'm really disappointed in a lot of our congressional leaders and their hesitancy. There's a lot of hesitancy, but we know when the Democrats get into place, they don't hesitate. They bulldozed over our Constitution, over this nation, over our rights, and have no problems with it. So if this is the case, God bless you. Let's see it happen. Don't give them a second to breathe. And I mean that in every sense of the term. Don't even let them breathe. And what was masterful about Trump when he first got into office, right? There were so many things happening that they didn't know which way to turn. So then you had all of these congressmen and senators, they're in the news, or they're going to stand against this, but no, Trump is doing this on the back end. And so they were just going every which way. And they were scattered. That's the way to keep them scattered. Start pushing things through. Don't be ashamed of it. You were elected to represent your area, so represent them. Get these things done. We know what we voted for. We know what over half of this nation put Trump into office for, and to get the agenda passed and move through. And trust and believe that if we don't hold steady during these midterms, or if we lose more seats, the Republicans lose more seats, we are in trouble. Because the first thing they're going to do is impeach Trump 35 times, because that's all they know how to do, right? It's going to impeach everybody. Everybody's getting impeached. At this point, this is like an Oscar. They just need to have an impeachment trophy and just start handing it out. Just the impeachment trophy. But I hope to see things codified. That is what we want. That is what we begged for. And I wish more had been done faster, because the American people need to see that the policies that this administration have are critical. They work. They will work. we have to have politicians get out of the way so they can, and we're going to feel it. Now, I need us to feel it. I need the average American person who does not follow politics like some of us here in the show do. I need them to see it before they go to the ballot box. That's the biggest issue. It has to be done before people vote.
Well, there are rumors right now all over Twitter that Dan Bongino's staff has quit. His office is empty and he is set to officially resign within the next 48 hours. Has anyone else heard that? And
Yes.
I see you nodding, Crystal. What do you think is going on?
You know, I was saying the other day, I said, you know, in the conservative party, somehow the other they don't understand the definition of friendship, because a lot of these people that are the conservative podcasters, I remember when they were picking their nominations and they were like, we got Cash, yeah, we got Dan, yeah, we got RFK. Like they were excited. Everyone was excited. And then it was like that Janet Jackson song, What Have You Done For Me Lately type of thing, because it's like everybody started saying, well, we didn't get the Epstein list. And I'm like, why do y'all keep talking about the Epstein list? They have found thousands of children that have been missing. Why aren't y'all like locking into that? They have arrested traffickers. They have stopped the influx of drugs, and they've done so much. And y'all keep talking about this Epstein list. And the way that they attack, like I watch some of the people who are supposed to be their friends as podcasters attack Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, and they're just attacking all these people. And I'm like, how are y'all these people's friends? Because I'm not even their friends. And I can see the work that they're doing. And I am applauding the work that they're doing. Mind you, they just got into office, what, February, March, April, in that time span? What are y'all expecting in like a drop of a dime, especially when things have been in an utter mess? Y'all should be applauding these people and supporting them. I can see Dan just being like, I'm frustrated. This is too much. I'm tired of being here, because this has been a rumor that he's like, I'm done. I'm ready to leave. And I can understand when you keep getting beaten down, and you're trying to do stuff for the American people, and the people who are supposed to be supporting you are now stabbing you in the back. You're like, look, I could just go back home and make millions like I was doing before. Why stay here and get beat up? I don't feel like I need to be doing this. I need the American people to take a step back, especially the Christians. As the word of the Lord says, pray for your leaders, pray for your administration. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Not sitting down here every 5 seconds complaining about stuff. And then we put back in the same people who were hiding all the alleged fraud that we've been seeing that has been unearthed with these people in office. Look how much fraud has been unearthed, but we're complaining about an Epstein list. Now, understand the Epstein list is important, but it's not more important than the things that they've been doing. There are thousands of children that have been brought home. People should be applauding and commending and standing up for that. I can say that I have had some moms on here who have lost children to the drugs that were brought into this country. And they are so thankful for the work that the FBI has done. But because people let that false prophet media, people like Candace and all of them who like to say we can't trust the FBI and this, that, the other, Dan is like, if Dan is leaving, Dan is like, I'm tired of it. I've just had enough. I can make my money elsewhere.
Wow. Yeah. I want to get you in here, Kung Fu CJ. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Listen, I'm prior military. I used to, being out to sea, I used to board those ships that were coming from overseas to our shores and inspecting and searching for contraband. You know, when I first seen the first so-called fishing boat blown out the water, and then I read about it, I was like, don't no fishing boat have twin turbo Kawasaki engines in it. They don't. You're not going fishing. That's a speedboat. And so, I mean, I was proud. I was like, yeah, this is the real war on drugs. We stopped it before it even get out of the peninsula, you know. And as far as our elected officials. Unfortunately, I'm a convicted felon, and despite that, my pastor still ordained me as a minister.
That's right.
However, I can't vote. What I do on my platforms is encourage people to vote, and I give both sides. We do need somebody like a Jim Jordan as the speaker.
Preach on it.
We do need that type of person as the speaker. Think about it. He rolls up his sleeves and he goes to work.
Yeah, he does.
He will be blunt. He will be forward, forceful, and he is somebody that the whole Republican Party can rally behind when it comes down to codifying those executive orders. We need a lot of that stuff codified. And the last thing, healthcare is affordable healthcare is a state issue. I said that on my show. And the reason why I say it is mostly all of the states won't allow other health insurance companies to come in and compete with the ones that are there. If you open up the states to all of the healthcare insurances, which is over 1,000 in this country, if they open them up to the market, to the people, like they do car insurance, you can get car insurance from somewhere out of Idaho. And now you got car insurance and you can drive your vehicle legally. They need to be able to do the same thing with health insurance. Because
we know why they won't do it though, because some of these states, particularly the Democrat states, the leftist states, are trying to insure illegals.
Well, not necessarily that, because even if you open it up to everybody, the illegals would have to get insurance from a private insurer. We eliminate ACA. All that did was raise the premiums. It made the insurance companies, the health insurance companies, even richer. If we open it up to the marketplace and let everybody complete, premiums will come down drastically. Because now everybody got to compete. It's the same thing with the electric car. They gave the electric car so much subsidy, it didn't have to compete with the big three or Japan. Now they got to compete.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
I want to get our super chatters, because we have some super chatters. We haven't gotten them yet. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate each and every one of you all and the panel. It's so exciting getting a panel on here. I think this is the first time we've done this, so we got to keep doing it. So let's see here. Bronx Girl 007 with a $20 super chat says, I am a Messianic Jew. I trust God and Jesus above all else, and I trust God will reveal all and also judge those who do lie and have ulterior motives. All right, absolutely. Bronx Girl 007 says, I want to add this. Do not fear the darkness or the adversary. Fear the one who has the power to judge and kill the soul. Many will claim Jesus and he will turn them away because he never knew them. Thank you so much. There's Josh, is a YouTube member. Thank you, Josh.
Josh, let's go.
Laura says, this is awesome. I love seeing everyone. Thank you, Laura. Monica says, yes, Crystal. I literally had the same experience. I used to listen to Candace, but then I started realizing her hatred toward the Jews and no response on Muslims, and the Holy Spirit told me to stop. Yeah, I think that's what's really contradictory. She's got this hatred for the Jews, but then she's silent on Islam, which is the number one persecutor in the world. So it's very contradictory. Gail Smiley with the $5 super chat says, can we safely assume everyone here has been in a narcissistic relationship? And that's why we are all triggered by Candace asking for a friend. All right. Thank you so much, Gail. All right. Shrinkarella with the $5 super chat says, maybe they can't release the Epstein list because they are building cases and don't want to tip folks off. They are being investigated. P.S. Jesus is Lord. Well, we hope. Yes, I hope that's the case. Thank you so much. I hope that is the case. But I want to just touch on another story that came out today. Susie Wiles. So we're talking about the chaos within the Republicans, within the conservative movement. As you guys know, White House aides and allies on today rushed to publicly defend Susie Wiles after a jaw-dropping interview in Vanity Fair had her pointedly criticizing the president and many in the cabinet. Most of the critics were basically saying they were batting away these as inside jokes or part of a hit piece. Nicole, what do you think? Do you think this was a hit piece, or is there some there?
No, there's no there. You know, you got. Sometimes the world makes me tired. Let me just it wears my soul down. Let me say this: Susie Wiles. When you think of a strong Republican woman who has earned her place, hat off to Queen Susie. Do your thing, mama. She went into this interview, as well as many other people who work for the administration, went into this interview and they were honest and did their thing. And here's this person for Vanity Fair. You know, the same Vanity Fair that says Melania is not pretty enough to be on their cover. Mm-hmm. The same Vanity Fair that runs Michelle Obama every third cover. The same Vanity Fair was going to be fair, honest, balanced in this reporting. If you were expecting that, let me know. I got these wooden nickels I can sell to you, $500 a piece, just because you're my friends. They're never going to get a fair shake from the liberal media. No matter how much we try, no matter how hard we bang our heads against that wall, they're never going to give us a fair shake. So they're going to do this thing where they kind of almost tell the truth, but not. And then they shade it with a little bit of bias. And then they cut this piece off and there's no context to this thing. And you know who eats it up? Democrats. And you know what they do? They say, "Ooh, look at the Republicans infighting." If I hear one more time about Republicans infighting while we're completely ignoring the Democrats imploding on each other. But Susie Wiles, this fine Republican woman, is suddenly, enemy number one to Team America First or Team MAGA. She is Team MAGA, the embodiment of Team MAGA. Susie Wiles is a force to be reckoned with. She took blue Florida to purple Florida to red Florida and Donald Trump in the White House. There's nothing Vanity Fair can tell any right-thinking person that Susie Wiles is in some way some kind of plant, some kind of rhino. Absolute, complete, and utter, I'm sorry, Pastor Damon, bullshit. Steamy bullshit. Flies the whole bit. Susie Wiles is an absolute badass. Make no mistake. Don't let that grandma haircut fool you. She is a badass Republican woman. I hope someday grow up to be her. Make no mistake. Susie Wiles is the truth. And anyone who tells you any different has no idea how this party works and runs.
All right. Sound off. Anyone else want to sound off on that? About Susie Wiles?
I would just say that she is exactly what Nicole said. I mean, we cannot be fooled by Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair, exactly right. Vanity Fair that runs Michelle Obama every third cover, that is refuses to feature Melania, and it is one piece, one weapon in their entire arsenal that they are going to use every second of the day to try to get the Democrats back in power during the midterms and then take Trump down for the last 2 years of this administration and then eliminate Vance. That's what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And we have got to get back in focus. They have no plan. the Democrats have absolutely no plan. When you go to them and say, what's your solution to, fixing America? What are the top 3 things you can say to us today that are going to improve the lives of everyday people in this country? They have nothing. All they can do is tear into Trump. That's all they know how to do. And what got us elected and what got this broad coalition elected was our positivity, was our it was a Big Ten. And one thing we should take from Hillary Clinton is that she said, politics is a game of addition. It's not a game of subtraction. So what are they trying to do to us now? Cut everybody out. They're trying to hate the Jews and get the Muslim. Guess what? We're going to need some Dearborn voters. We're going to need the Jewish voters to block to stay together. We're going to need everybody that got this big win in 2024. We're going to need them again in 2026 and 2028. So we cannot be fooled by Vanity Fair or anything that comes out about infighting. Just immediately know that is a psyop.
Yeah. Well, the left is fuming today on a couple of things. One, President Trump just revealed he defeated the lawsuit that tried to block construction of his privately funded $400 million White House ballroom. Folks, it's privately funded, and the media continues to lie about this. Well, guess what? Construction is not stopping, and he's not using any taxpayer funds. So, yeah,
and I can't wait to dance on it. You hear me? Went out and got a nice full dress. I cannot wait. I'll take plenty of pictures. I'll bring the Pop family with me. I'm going to dance my face off in that ball. I cannot wait.
Absolutely. Another thing that he unveiled today or not long ago is the ban on Palestinians, it looks like. Yes. Did you guys hear about that? Yeah. So he again is calling out Islamic terrorism, and he actually placed a ban on immigration from Palestine. If I have it correctly here, did you all hear about that?
Yes. Listen, we're pushing bans on a lot of nations, and it's a good thing. And you guys know how much I like to celebrate my TPS expiration calendar every month. I'm telling you who's got to go home. It's getting to a point where they're reviewing every nation. They're taking a look at USCIS is taking a look at information that was gathered that didn't take into considerations people's social media presence, because it's one thing to go to your interview and pretend like butter melts in your mouth. It's a whole nother thing when they look at your ex and your Facebook and you're like, I hate America, kill Americans, blah, blah, blah. But you show up in the interview and you got the halo over your head and you spread the holy water when you come in the door. They really do put on a show. And I tell you that honestly, because I do immigration physicals, and the questions we have to ask them about their medical health, they'll come in limping. Like, I can't see them on the camera. They're coughing, they're hacking, but they get in the doctor's lane with you, and they're the healthiest people. They've never had a cold, a sneeze. They don't have split ends. Like, they've never had anything happen in their lives, because that's the one thing that's standing in between them and permanent legal residency, right? So imagine the lies that they tell when they go in for that interview. But the internet remembers. So now that they're going back and taking a look at these things, hey, it's not what they said it was. And we reserve the right to take it back. Yeah. We reserve that right. All of their paperwork says that. The one Iranian woman that was supposed to be naturalized, I think 2 weeks ago, and they wrote this big story about, oh, it's horrible. She waited, she paid, she did all this. She also chanted death to America and put it on her socials, right? Yep. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, spam. Put your burqa on and go back to where you came from. We have got to get real serious about these people who mean to do us harm.
Right. Yeah.
Who mean to do us harm. And I know there may be some who are right thinking and are here for all the right reasons. And they're saying, oh, well, don't lump us all together. But when you kill us, when they kill us all together. Right? Yeah. When they're pillaging our communities, they pillage us all together. We have the right to defend our homeland, just like every other nation on this planet. And it's about time we start doing it. And that's a winning political point for President Trump. We have to do, as conservatives, a much better job of pushing out the things that America agrees with us on. This should be on everybody's lips, not Vanity Fair ripping up Susie wives. Most Americans don't spend $22 on a magazine full of, skinny, hungry white women in the shallow bottom. You know what I mean? We're taking their talking points and making it happen for them when we should be talking about the leader of the Democrat Party is damn it. That's what we should be talking about. Yeah. He's a so-called Democrat socialist, and he is the leader of that party. That should be the top story on every news program, but they don't talk about that at all. Instead, Susie has a problem with Trump.
Right.
No.
And speaking of that, I want to move on to this Brown University shooting. So, we've been following this very closely. It looks like out today, they have identified this nut who committed the shooting. He was, of course, a Free Palestine activist. All right. And it looks like he worked at the university. Am I reading that correctly? Did you guys hear that? Yeah. So he had something to do with the university, and they were scrubbing his information from the university directory. This thing is just taking a total left turn. So I'm looking here from The Hill is reporting. Rhode Island Attorney General Peter Norano said the FBI got over their skis after a person was identified and released, but they have a new person of interest that they are looking for. He's still at large, but instead of identifying him, they have been trying to hide this man's information and things about him from the public. Did you hear about this, Nicole?
I was just reading it a little bit earlier in the show. So there's so much that where's Candace when you need her? Candace, baby, here's one for you. This is something you should on. Go down that rabbit hole and do your Candace thing. Sometimes a story comes along and it's got her name on it, and this is it. Yeah. There are some really, as Candace would say, if you know things here. Why do they have cameras circa 1976? That's grainy. I mean, I've seen 7-Elevens with better cameras. This is ridiculous that this school with a $9 billion with a B dollar tax-free endowment has little children drawing pictures of people who walk by. It's ridiculous. Also, they're scrubbing data after a shooting on their campus. Exactly. Where's Candace? Girl, this is your moment.
She doesn't want to touch this though because it has something to do with Islamists.
Exactly.
Islam.
But listen, this would be her chance. This would be her chance to strike a blow and say
redemption.
It really wasn't the Islamists. The Jews made him do it. Anytime she can blame a Jew. If the Jews did half the stuff Candace said that they did, they would not make a cent across the world. They're too busy causing mischief. She has got a specific skill set that this particular story calls for because there's something going on there. And I don't know if it's maybe somebody's son, an important person's son, or maybe they don't want the optics of it being one of their pro-Palestinian, people who's very prominent. And they want to make sure that they erase him from anything that's going to damage that $9 billion with a B dollar endowment. They have 900 billion reasons to make this different. Make no mistake. So there's a lot going on. And anybody on Candace's team who likes to do conspiracy things, here's your moment. This is it. Let's go.
Yeah. KJ, we talked about this on our last podcast, and I said something is suspicious when you have a young man on camera being interviewed about an eyewitness. He saw the gun. He looked at him eye to eye, and he couldn't remember the color. This is a young black man, and darn good and well, if this was racist, he would have said everything. Somebody got to him and said, "Here's what you're not going to say," because we live to show those clips of people who are outrageous, and they could tell you down to, and I'm pretty sure his DNA is such and such. He could probably tell the blood. He was that close, but he didn't know what he looked like. There was nothing descriptive, and you saw him eye to eye. You made eye contact and saw the weapon. So there's something suspicious going on when there are eyewitnesses and there are absolutely no descriptions. This is beyond bizarre. And this is a cover up, and this is because they're hiding their own. There's something they don't want to say. And trust me, if they thought it was really a right-wing conspiracy theorist / Christian conservative, he'd be all over the news and he would be everywhere, and they would have another reason to condemn all of us and come after podcasts or come after everything. So no, something is up with this. It wasn't right from the get-go. Again, this is another attack. It is a spiritual attack. It happened again at the beginning of what? Hanukkah, and we've seen this over and over, and they're keeping it hush hush for a reason. And there are cameras everywhere. Let's just forget about the fact that it's, that school. What about the cameras that are everywhere else? What about the street cams? You can literally turn it on and watch somebody drive from, your house to grandma's house all the way across the country, but you can't find the video footage for this man that has eyewitnesses. So just see what happens. But you're right, Candace, this is a good one for you. Go ahead, Scooby, do it.
Yeah. Like someone said, redeem herself.
And my whole thing is, just because you add a new building onto an old building, I mean, come on now. They got plenty of money, millions of dollars. You meaning to tell me that they didn't put new cameras in the older building? I mean, there's a building inspector that has to come out there and inspect it and make sure it's up to code. I mean, my brother's a head building inspector for the county here in Lexington County. And there is no way he would have allowed that to have happened, to even remotely have happened, for there not to even been any security cameras in that building and have been neglected. My brother don't let nothing go. I mean, he'll inspect everything. He'll inspect everything into a wire. I mean, there is just no way. I don't believe this for not 1 minute, not one. I mean, something's off. Something's been off about a lot of stuff here lately. And I've been writing it down. I've been keeping notes, and I'm starting to connect everything. I'm starting to do, how on those NCIS and those CSIs and stuff, how you see them on there like taking pieces of string from like tags. I'm just putting it all up on my all up on my board and just, going from, tag to tag to tag, and I'm slowly piecing it together, but I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, because I'm like, this is just retarded. This is like seriously retarded. I mean,
it looks like they had someone. It looks like, but then I guess that wasn't the person. But I mean, it's really bizarre. There were rumors that the person yelled something. They were thinking it was some type of Arabic, but again, we don't have anything concrete, and the authorities have not confirmed or verified any of this stuff. So we got to continue to look out on this. Before we leave tonight, I wanted to ask you all your opinion on this viral video of a leftist cussing out an elderly woman in Target just because she had on a Charlie Kirk shirt. This has gone viral. Take a look here. This is clip 2.
Why?
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes. Why? Why are you taking my picture?
Why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not a Target
red shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be.
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Oh, yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he fucking is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go get your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable.
That's your opinion.
No, the opinion is he's a fucking racist and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am.
And you should not be allowed to wear that. This is going to be taken above your fucking head. That's insane. Insane.
Have a nice day.
Fucking-sane. Piece of shit.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow, what a Karen.
Walk away, mama. She was like, listen, I'm not doing it with you today. I'm gonna go ahead and hang up these baby clothes and mind my business. And oh, by the way, keep my freedom on my back and my Charlie Kirk shirt. I love every minute of that. She didn't engage with Karen. She didn't feed that Becky energy. She let her keep her demons and her demonic self right there. Now go ahead and kick it up the ladder. Go ahead. Because Target says wear a red shirt. They don't say it can't have anything on it. That's not the rules. And they're not going to suddenly make some rules to appease this Karen who's walking around in a knockoff MAGA hat in some kind of Mexican restaurant's Lives Matters t-shirt. I mean, she's a walking, talking problem. She's the reason why most people stop shopping at Target. Between that and the bathroom situation, that was whole thing.
Well, see, if she wants to be all politically correct about this, then why ain't, when she's working at the Mexican restaurant, why ain't she wearing a sombrero hat then? I mean, you working at the Mexican restaurant, hey, you want to be in uniform, right? Wear that sombrero hat. Okay? If we want to get all politically and technically all correct about this mess now, you can't have this double standard going on. I mean, you wear the sombrero hat, girl. We want to see the sombrero hat. Come on now. Trump did it. Yeah. Trump did it on Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer now. If he could do it on him, then you could do it on you. I mean,
well, this woman, it appears her name is Michaela Ponce. She's a nurse.
Oh, imagine that.
From Orland, California. And she's facing backlash after she posted this video to TikTok where she's confronting this elderly Target employee over wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt. I mean, that was nasty.
Yeah. KJ, as you should, because that's absolutely positively disgusting. I'm so tired of these keyboard warriors, these I can do it. Listen. You don't own my body. You don't own the clothes that I wear. You didn't purchase anything in my closet. This is my place of work. My boss has already laid down what I am allowed and not allowed to wear. You don't come in here to tell me what I can and cannot do. And just the utter disrespect to be cussing out someone, an older woman who is just out there doing her job, minding her business, doing her job. You should respect, again, this is how depraved so many people have become, because you will sit down here and disrespect an older woman because of the shirt that she's wearing. Where is the respect? What happened to the respect for our elders? What happened to that mindset? No, we are just going to be disgusted because we have dehumanized everyone. Because if we don't agree with you, then we're going to dehumanize you, treat you like you're some kind of animal, some kind of monster. I'm going to speak to you however I want to. This woman should get every bit of backlash. And I've seen people who, when they get back, after they put something up on social media and they get that backlash, then they want to play that victim. Oh, no. Take all the energy that you put out there. You wanted to put it out there. Now take everything that comes with it, because, yes, we have free will. This is a free country. You can do what you want freely, freedom of speech. But guess what? You are not free of consequences. And whatever consequences come along with it, receive those consequences.
Yeah.
Her whole department should show up to work tomorrow in Charlie Kirk freedom shirts.
Yes.
If she worked for me, I would call everybody like, Charlie Kirk Day tomorrow, y'all. Let's go.
All the nurses.
Her out. I would absolutely weird her out. And the reason is because what Crystal was saying, and we've said on this show many, many times, we've gotten to a point where the community standard is only what I tell you the community standard is. It's my way or nothing. It ain't even a highway no more. You either agree with me or I burn your village down. Right. So we have to take back the greater good narrative. And the way we do that is this thing that they talk about on Just the Guides. It's called shame. Shame used to be big back in the day. The last thing you wanted to do was shame your parents, shame your church. You didn't want to do anything that made people look at your family or you or people funny. You really had to walk this straight and narrow line. Was it intense? Absolutely. But it made us better people, and it made the group better.
Yes.
Everybody was scared to death of your shorts are too short. Miss Burt across the street gonna call your mom and like, the girl got her tail hanging out and this and that. And you the whole day trying to pull your pants, down, so you don't shame your family. This is what needs to come back, and we'll get rid of these Karens, because cursing an older woman who's working at Target, first of all, I don't know what her life circumstances. Maybe she just, wants to spend some time outside the house. I don't know. But this woman is minding her whole damn business, doing her job, working. And to be cursed out from someone just because they don't agree with what clothes you have on.
I want to know how did we get here? Michelle, how did we get here where, because you disagree, like you said, Nicole, because you disagree with someone, you feel it is in your right to curse them out, to become aggressive with them in public? What happened, Michelle, to just turning, just ignoring them, going another way?
Well, two-part. For those of you I know on our podcast, I'm a homeschooling mom of 6, and I will 100% put like 90% of the blame on the education system. We failed in our education. We changed, we shifted. It became an indoctrination camp where we allowed these crazy teachers to start, and the whole system to start giving power to children instead of teaching them education and teaching them logic and teaching them debate and discourse, right? We took all that out for all of this fluff and nonsense. So children don't even have respect in the classrooms. And then I will say that, when I'm sure Pastor Damon will understand and agree, we have also intentionally destroyed the family unit. So when you have children that are not being educated properly, they're not taking the classes they used to take, where we would debate and then we would agree, we would disagree, we would write out why we agree and disagree, and then you would move on, right? And we respected our teachers. We didn't cuss them out and go live and go viral. We didn't fight in the schools. We were scared to death. If I told my teacher to shut up, I may not have lips. My grandma would have slapped them across the room. My mom would have slapped. You would have gotten beat by neighbors, before you got to your house. There was a time where you respected everybody, and it was in the classrooms. That now we've got, you get to choose. You get to feel however you want. And then in schools, they're teaching children that if you do this, we're going to make sure we don't tell your parents. So here's this. Meanwhile, they are destroying families. They don't want people to get married. They don't want people to have, raise their children together in a loving marriage and couples. They don't want that. So this is systematic destruction. It's coming from education. It's coming and attacking our homes. And we've got to fight back on both fronts. We have.
I have an exact date for you. The exact date where this became an issue. February 10, 2007. February 10, 2007 was the day that America said, you may not disagree with what we want. It was the day that Barack Hussein Obama announced his candidacy for president. After that, it was a wrap. You couldn't disagree. You couldn't say, I like him because he's black, but I hate his politics. You were voted off the aisle. Everybody had to agree. You had to be in lockstep. And that's when you are racist, a misogynist, this or that or this. They were pulling words out of the sky that most Americans hadn't used since the early 30s. When was the last time before that date somebody was called a fascist, right?
Yeah.
That date changed everything. And the Democrat Party was so successful in making sure that cultural shift happened and so completely. The media said, this is our golden boy. This is the guy who's going to give us all the things that we need. He's the second coming of Christ, right? No, well, what he is a guy who got lucky because the guy who had his Senate seat got caught cheating on his wife and lost the election. They replaced him with Barack Obama. Politics, right? Yep. But they used this momentous occasion, the first Black president, to kill dissent across this nation. And we've not been the same since February 10.
You're right.
2007.
You're right. And we see that it's leftists. It's the leftists that feel like they are, it's not even a feeling because they do. They are the ones that just totally all speak out and are so aggressive. And as you mentioned, Nicole, it does have something to do with President Obama's election. want to get you in on this, Pastor Damon. What are your thoughts on the role that Barack Obama played in changing the political and social dynamic of the country?
Barack Obama, if you'll go back, you'll see when he came into office. It wasn't long after he was in, I want to say, the Smith-Mundt Act, somewhere around 2012, 2013, where he made it pretty much a legal thing that the news media could lie to you and not suffer any consequences for it. And so now we have it, this little seed planted full grown now, where they're saying things that you're seeing happen right before your eyes. I mean, the Democrats could get on there while Joe Biden was in office and say, the economy is the best it's ever been. And you're still paying $4 a gallon for gas.
Yep.
When we were paying $1.65 when Trump went out of office, but then we're paying $4 and people are going, yay, because they're exactly right. Well, Barack Obama did that. He knew that the way to gain power and control. Listen, before that chump was voted in for president, or whatever they did to get him in there, before that chump became president, he actually told America that he had studied books concerning how Hitler was able to be as powerful as he was. He put that out in public, and America still went, "Whoa, yeah, man, we want this guy," because we had been sold a lie that we needed to trust government to be daddy. And government has to be in control, folks. You don't know what you're doing. You have to trust us. So once that has happened, here comes Barack Hussein Obama. Hussein, have you ever heard of him? And he comes along, they get him in there. And this guy actually told America, he studied books on how Hitler managed to be as powerful as he was. And he did it. He used that, and he used the news media to be his mouthpiece. Anytime you get something and you continue to repeat it over and over and over again, you'll get people believing it. The same thing goes back with Candace Owens. She is not changing what she's going to say about Charlie Kirk. I don't care how many meetings she's had with Erika Kirk and whoever else. She's going to keep repeating the same old thing because the Democrats know that if you keep doing that, you'll wear people's minds out and they will start to believe the lie rather than the truth. And the Bible actually even talks about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we have come to the end of our time tonight. I want you all to give final thoughts. You just kind of brought it all home, Pastor Damon, with the whole Candace Owens and again, Megyn Kelly. I mean, a lot of people are turned off by Megyn Kelly within this situation as well. I want to get each of you to kind of sound off on where we are as we go into AmFest. AmFest is starting on Thursday. Yes. In Arizona. This is I think the biggest event since Charlie Kirk's assassination. They have a full lineup, including Megyn Kelly. Everybody's there except for Candace Owens, I think. And she may pop up. You don't know. You never know. Yeah. So what do you all think? I want to start off with you, Jessica. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Share your thoughts on that.
One second. Mackenzie wants to say hi.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Mackenzie.
Hi, girl.
Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, go to bed. Megyn Kelly, to me, she just stirs the pot. I'm sorry. She just stirs up that pot. She likes to keep things stirred up, so she's got something to talk about. Candace Owens, she's just a mental case. If I was her husband and I really loved and cared for her, I'd go ahead and, involuntarily commit her because, I mean, he's got plenty of video evidence. Believe me, plenty of video evidence and content to produce to doctors and judges to show that she is a massive mental case. And she indeed needs to be in the asylum to which he so chooses to put her in. Okay? And so, and as far as all of this other stuff about these children, all this stuff. Look, like Ronald Reagan said, I remember one thing he said in one of his speeches that he said, or I'm not sorry, speeches, but one of his press conferences, he said, the day that you start allowing children to choose what rules and what laws that they want to follow and abide by is the day that it's going to be the ruination of the country, because then they're going to take control, because then eventually they're going to be the ones that's going to start voting. They're eventually going to grow up and they're eventually going to start voting. Then here we go, like Barack Obama. Okay, you know, I'm guilty. I voted for him just because I didn't like the other guy. Okay, okay, yeah, I did it. I fessed up. I did it. I'm guilty of it. I was the second person on the grassy knoll. Okay, I'm guilty. So yeah, I voted for him.
All right.
I love
Then
you.
Obama, he started. That was the start of this woke stuff, with everybody saying, "Oh, let's get all up in our feelings." And then that's just where it started. Started from 2000, like Nicole said, from 2007, and then just came on and worked itself up and got progressively worse. You know, in
all right.
I mean,
yeah, I agree.
It's sad. It's sad that children have now taken over the universe since 2007.
Yeah. All right, Josh, what are your thoughts on all of this? I know you're saying it's a distraction, but can you go ahead and finish? And what are your thoughts?
I do. I think it's a distraction. I think, and like Jessica, I've made notes as well about things that have been happening, just sort of in sequential orders, and that connecting of the dots that she was talking about. I think there is something to that. If you know, I don't know if any of you watched the morning meeting with Sean Spicer, Mark Halperin, and Dan Turrentine. It was a great show, and it was one of those shows that was really capturing the middle. It was really capturing Democrats, Republicans, and central people really with common sense, but which I actually think most of us here come from that era of common sense really rules the day. Not so much necessarily allegiance to party, but it's if something stops making sense to you, then there's something off. So the show was doing really, really well, and all of a sudden it just disappeared. And Sean and Dan left to go to start their own thing. Mm-hmm. It was very successful, and it was very to this point. Unless if any of you have heard anything more about it, I have not heard anything, right? Mm-hmm. And it makes me wonder. The Trump coalition that elected him was very broad, and it took a lot of effort to get us over that too big to rig thing, right? Mm-hmm. So my only main concern, and I'm going to stay laser focused on this, is that the midterms are the key to everything, because if we get 2 more years to implement his policy, allow the big beautiful bill to do its thing, allow all of the executive orders to get codified, this is going to be a great country, and we're going to need another 8 years of Vance's presidency in order to enact all of those policies and to really reform the country behaviorally, culturally, start getting respect for our elders back, start getting respect for the family back, all of the values we all grew up with. And I'm gay and from Massachusetts and a liberal, town and stuff like that, but I still adhere to all of those values. Those are not left, right, or anything else. Those are just American traditional values that I subscribe to. So absolutely, that's where I'm at. We can't be divided. We cannot be partitioned. We have got to stay united and don't listen to anybody that talks about infighting. So
all right.
I still love you, Josh.
Love you. Love you all.
Crystal, want to please share where people can find you, and also please talk about what you think as far as where do we go from here, with this Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and the TPUSA thing.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this conversation completely. And I just have to tell you, FYI, my dad put me on to you. And then I told him I was going to join you tonight, and he was ecstatic. I'm just going to tell you, he was ecstatic. He was ecstatic. He was like, "You see?" So just wanted you to know that. Everyone, you can find me on Crystal Beyond Labels. That's my channel. It's Crystal Beyond Labels. Again, we speak everything: truth over trends, faith over feelings, everything what the Word of God says, even if it makes you uncomfortable. That's what we do over there. So please come join me over there. I'm Crystal Beyond Labels because I don't live by the labels of this world. I live by the labels of what God calls me to be. So hopefully you can join me over there. What I will say is I agree with Nicole, but I want to take it one step further. I want to say that I think all of our problems started with No Child Left Behind in 2002 because it took accountability away from children. Children felt like if they could just get away and people will push them forward. That was it, and I remember that because that was also the time my kids were growing up. They pushed my daughter forward, and she was dealing with a learning disability. She had a learning disability. The school wasn't catching. I said, "There's something off," and they just kept pushing her forward. Her reading wasn't up to par, and I'm like, "So are we not going to test her?" Like I had to fight with the school. Then at the same time, in that same space, was when they started giving away trophies to everybody. It didn't matter if you did good or bad, you were going to get a trophy. So I think that's when we started spoiling the children and making them feel like they are special to the point where they are the ones that rule and we just have to follow along. No longer our children are the parents leading, it's the children that's leading. So I think that's where we started. I want to also say that everything that's happening with Candace and Megyn and all of them, I want you all to think about something. I think that, let's say on the Dems, they play the long game. They really play the long game. Even the Democratic Socialists, they play the long game. They will move through very quietly, very slowly, and they'll do what they have to do. Us on the conservative side, sometimes we are short-sighted, but the beautiful thing is when Trump came in, Trump is like a chess player. Listen, this is a master chess player. He understands sports, and I used to play sports. I used to play tennis, and I understand about being on the offense and having the person on the defense, and that's what Trump will do with these people. That's what he was doing in the beginning, the first of these months. He was throwing out things all over the place. People didn't know if they were coming, they were going. They didn't know if they should go left, right. They were just losing their mind. And all they could keep yelling is about January 6th. That's all they kept yelling. They didn't know what else to talk about. January 6th or the FC list. That's the only thing they knew how to do. Because I want people to understand, I don't know if people have ever looked up the color revolution. That's literally what the Dems are doing. They're using that color revolution mindset on us. And if we don't pay attention, and it's not just the Dems, I will even slightly put in these questionable conservative podcasters who are now twisting stuff and saying, we don't care about your midterms. Isn't that what Candace said?
No, she said that.
We don't care about your midterms. We're not voting people like you back in the office. So what you're saying is you want to put back the same people who were actively doing fraud in our government, taking our taxpayer money, opening up our borders, putting us in harm's way. That's who you want to put back in office. So I would even look funny at people like that and seeing if they're part of this color revolution. I need all of us to take a step back, not catch ourselves in I will call it the gossip of it all. Because Candace is almost like the Wendy Williams of conversation.
That's a great analogy. Great analogy. Yes.
People need not to get into the Wendy Williams conservative Candace Owens. You need to pay attention, because if we don't let Trump do the things that he's supposed to be doing and keep the Congress and the Senate like it is supposed to be, we will be holding our heads crying and looking at why all of a sudden, for the Christians, you can't read your Bible in public anymore because the Sharia law has taken over. People who aren't Christian, I'm going to tell you right now, Sharia law is not going to be good for you either. I'm just telling y'all right now, Sharia law is not good for any of us. Notice they hopped over all of those people that are coming from those countries. They hopped over Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all these places that have money. They want a better life. They didn't go there. They came to the Western civilization to try and enact their ideologies. I want people to pay attention to those things and keep that locked in your mind so that you don't get distracted, because basically whenever they do things like what Candace and that media is doing right now, when they're doing things over here, something big is happening over here, but we're so distracted over here, we're missing what's happening behind the scenes. So pay attention and focus on what is important to you, your family, your faith, and your country, because that's the most important part of everything. Support TPUSA, because TPUSA is what Charlie's legacy was all about. And when you hear somebody say that is my best friend, but they want to actively burn everything that their best friend built, that should tell you everything you need to know about that person. And that should also tell you why you should support it, because clearly he was doing something great. And because she can't own it, because that's what a narcissist wants. They want to own it. And because she can't have that power, she'd rather burn it down. So go and support TPUSA, AmFest, and all of that.
All right. Absolutely. Pastor Damon, I got to get you in here. What are your thoughts? What do you have to say before we close out tonight?
When it comes to the children, the Bible says here in Hebrews chapter 12, starting in verse 7, if you endure chastening, God deals with you as with sons. For what son is there whom a father does not chasten? But if you are without chastening, of which all have become partakers, then you are illegitimate and not sons. That's the New King James. The King James says not illegitimate. It says you are bastards. Furthermore, we have had human fathers who corrected us, and we paid them respect. Shall we not much more readily be in subjection to the Father of spirits and live? So it's making the analogy of God, our Father, being a parent, chastising his children who believe in Jesus Christ as Savior, and also to a father on earth, a human father. It says, no chastening seems to be joyful for the present, but painful. Nevertheless, afterward, it yields the peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. When you read through this passage, parents, hear us now. Your chastising of your children is a sign of love. Listen, we don't raise children either. I'm tired of hearing that. The Bible says, train up your children in the way they should go. Training means being alongside, setting examples, allowing them enough rope to make a couple of mistakes, but then coming on back at training is somebody developing you along the way. We raise hogs on the farm. We don't raise children. We train up children. And in training, there's discipline. Look at those horses out there that are taught. Look at a dog that's being trained. There's discipline for a dog that won't go through training the right way. Yet we've allowed big bad boogeyman government to take our children alongside because they want to own our children. So a lot of the things that have been said by everyone on the panel tonight points all the way back to the government saying we want to be in control of it. How many times did we hear Kamala Harris say that? The children belong to us, is what she would say. She said that very often during the 4 years she was vice president. So my thing is we need to get back home. Parents, let's discipline our children, and let's not be afraid to discipline our children. Right now, we got a green light with a president and an administration that's not going to try to cut your neck off for disciplining your children. Once we can get this thing to go full red, excuse me, and follow the directions of Donald Trump, and his administration, which he's doing, and listen, I'm not saying the man's going to do everything flawless, but if we're going to put him in office and say we trust that was God's choice to have an office, why will we fight against him? If we say that, okay, we believe God made this move, what are we falling apart for? If God made that move, then we got to be able to trust that move because that's God's move, or lest we be found to fight against God. So I know things rough us up. It gets me sometimes, man. I'm about ready to turn my television into a floor model real quick. Y'all remember the old TV? I'm ready to snatch it off the wall. And my wife has to calm me down. She's like, Dame, stop. And I'm just like, but then when I take a breath and I go, okay, wait a minute, Lord. But if we believe that our vote worked because we prayed your hand to take it this direction, we have to settle down and trust it. And listen, like Crystal said, listen, she was spot on. Trump is a master chess player. He's 10 moves ahead. Everybody else is still playing checkers or shooting crap. I don't know what they're doing, but Trump knows how to troll you to drive yourself crazy. Right now, I think a lot of things going on is listen, man, we're doing some good Hollywood stuff on the right too to make the Democrats go crazy. They're excited because they think we're falling apart. We're all divided. Satan knows this one thing. He's whispering to them, all right, now you got him, because he knows that God said a divided house cannot stand. They think they got us. Nah, you don't have us. You think we got the okie doke on you. We're going to put it on you right now, Jack.
Sure.
All right. All right. Michelle, final thoughts for tonight?
Man, you guys, we covered so much top to bottom as far as Candace and all of this and Megyn and it's not just them. Of course, we know that there are a lot. Don't be deceived. Pay attention, because all of this was distraction. And the left needs that distraction, needs it to break us up, right? All of the conservatives, the Christians, it needs to break us up because they know that we are the strongest when we are together. And right now we're on point. Right now, we're the winning team because the policies being pushed by this administration are winning policies. Mm-hmm. And so when I thought of them, I thought Galatians 6:7-8. So do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. We have a God that will not be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Whoever sows to please their flesh, from the flesh will reap destruction. Whoever sows to please the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life. So Candace and anyone else we disagree with here, they're going to get what's coming to them. That is what they're reaping. That is what they're sowing. So I'm going to let them do it. Our job as Christian conservatives are to call it out. To call it out is to stand on business and say, no, that's not right. Yeah. I'm not gossiping about them. I'm saying, no, that's not right. That's not spiritual. That's not God. That's not of God. And frankly, that's just a flat out lie. Because now we're seeing them twist and weave lies and webs of destruction. So don't be deceived on all of that. And then when we talked about Trump, you showed that clip, KJ, and what Trump said in there was so important to me. One little thing, it was almost a whisper, and he said, they didn't learn. We didn't learn. We're not learning. Over in Europe and Australia, they didn't learn. They let an invasion happen. And right now he is turning back this invasion that happened here in the United States. And we have to start telling people, you don't have a right to be foreign born and come here and think you can be a United States citizen. No to the no. Bye-bye. You don't need to be here. And if you do not like the United States and our laws and our Constitution, you got to go. And then don't let, the door hit you where the good Lord, the rest of the story. But goodbye. I have no shame in saying goodbye. You do not have a right to be an immigrant in this nation. You don't have the right to my tax dollars going to you or your children or your children's children. Now, in the eyes of Jesus, you have the right to a lot of things. Right? God bless you in your journey. And if you legitimately have, good cause to be here, do it the right way, because you will respect our Constitution and do it the right way. And I've helped many people actually gain their status here. So I love that. And I say all of that because what Trump is doing is ensuring that we have another generation that we can save, first off, because we will fight back what is coming. And this is, like I said, radical Islam is coming for us. They know how to win. They take thousands of years. They will wait hundreds, if not thousands of years to get what they want, just like any other communist country. China is chomping at the bit saying, go ahead and let Islam do what it's going to do in the United States. Let it do it from within. And I'm going to tell you right now, I stand on First Amendment. I stand on my Second Amendment and on my Second Amendment and on my Second Amendment. Did I say first and second? Because my children understand it. On their First Amendments and their Second Amendments, all the amendments. I will teach them. I will train up my children in the way they should go. And we know that because, again, I homeschool my children. They read the Founding Fathers documents. That's right. They took that out and they're making sure that your children are illiterate on purpose. Yep. Here in the state of Maryland, illiterate, when 30% of your graduating seniors can read at grade level. That is intentional. So I go back to do not be distracted by all of the nonsense. Stand firm. Our elections are going to be critical, and we have to back this nation until the end while we still have it. This is our opportunity. So I love this panel, agree with this panel. And just like no child left behind, but tell you what, no conservative is going to be left behind in this, because we're going to fight. That's we will fight for our freedoms. And we will fight for you to be wrong. That's how much we care. Mm-hmm. Just like that woman in the video who attacked that elderly lady, said, this is going beyond your head. Well, she messed around and found out it is going beyond her head. It's just she's not expecting that she's going to be the one to lose. So I'm just saying that we are going to fight, and it's going to be above the Democrats' head. It's going to be beyond the Islamics' head, because the head that leads this is Jesus. The head that leads us is the Lord. And until he comes, we will be fighting.
Folks,
amen, girl.
Michelle, that's my co-host on KJ Christian Conservative. If you don't know, you got to check us out Sundays and Thursday nights at KJ Christian Conservative. That is Michelle Talkington. She's on fire. Okay. All right. Nicole, close us out tonight. What do you think of all this? And please share your thoughts.
Abject foolishness. The same thing I said yesterday. It's still foolish today. It was foolish yesterday. It's even more foolish today. But listen, it's too close to Christmas to close on a note of anything other than hope, right? Anything other than joy. So for conservatives, here are a few things that you can hang your hat on. There is going to be a mini convention. That means that all of these coalitions that Josh pointed out, that we worked so hard to get people on board, we're bringing them back together for a smaller convention to rally the foot soldiers, to get everybody riled up. President Trump is back to doing rallies again, and he's doing rallies in swing states. In Pennsylvania, he's opened up a new blast furnace. Now, y'all know I'm from Pittsburgh, and the only reason why I'm not swinging my terrible towels because Shelley had a whole meltdown about the Baltimore game. But we are still number one in the North Division. Let's just do that. But opening up that blast furnace meant everything to Pennsylvania. Everything. Steel is what Pennsylvania does. It is what we do. We're not buying foreign steel anymore. We're going to make it here in this nation where we know how to make it long, strong, and good and employ our people in jobs that's legacy wealth. We're not talking $15, $20 an hour. These jobs pay enough money to elevate families out of poverty, to elevate families from lower middle class to upper middle class, and not just one generation. But they send these kids off to college. They send these kids off to trade school. It's a domino effect of the best order. This is what this president is doing. What you're going to see from conservative people and from those of us who do all the lecturing and all that kind of thing, you're going to see us hitting that bell more often. Instead of me coming on and saying all the things that are wrong, all the things that make me angry, I could go after Speaker Johnson every single day and never repeat myself. But what I will do is tell you that when they come back from the reset, you will see a changed group. You will see a changed group. When President Trump speaks, he speaks very politely to people. He's an incredibly charming person. And a lot of that is what helped us build those coalitions. We're going to see that again in these fireside chats that he's doing now. The marketing arm of this administration has been let loose to do their thing. And if you think we trolled Hakeem Jeffries with that sombrero and AI, you ain't seen nothing yet. That calm shop at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is top notch. They will troll you with your own music and make your mama cry. It's on. Game on. We're not going to let them steal the great American golden era. We turn 250 next year. We're going to party like rock stars. My organization, the Black Conservative Federation, turns 10 next year. We're going to party like rock stars. When I tell you this nation is going to shake with love, we're going to shake with joy. We're going to rock those midterms. People who want to get out and help, knock a door, send a letter, make a phone call, let me know. This is what we do. This is how we win elections. This is going to be contagious. And if you think I'm fired up now after a brief 1 hour phone call with the muckety mucks who do these kind of things, imagine when it becomes fruition. Because I'm taking Pop with me every door. I'm taking Pop with me to go boogieing on that new ballroom dance floor. I'm taking you with me to my gala when I tell you that our keynote speaker, my goodness, if you're going to be in the DMV, February 19th, it's going to be something. Now, it's my birthday weekend. That ain't the big thing. But we're having our BCF Honors Gala, and we're going to honor Alice Johnson and Christian Newton and Alexis, and lots of people are going to get awards. This is what we do. We give our flowers to people there. But our keynote speaker, somebody go ahead and ask me who it is. I can't tell you. But let me tell you.
Who is the keynote speaker?
It's huge. It's huge. It's
Huge.
big. It's gonna blow your
It's gonna be
mind.
great.
It's gonna blow your mind. And when I show you the video of what this man, who's our keynote speaker, is gonna say about this great nation, and every single one of you patriots, you're going to be energized like I am. And we're going to go into these midterms, handle our business, and change this culture. Let's focus in. Celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, because nobody gets to God unless they go through him. He is
all right.
The way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, folks. Before we go, I got to acknowledge our super chatters. Thank you all so much. The Scrapping Beauty says a socialist brain does not question their authority. A healthy mind questions everything. Smart people know they don't know everything. Thank you so much. Venus Montgomery with the $5 super chat says, hi, ladies. I live in Orlando and I shop in Chico. They're controlling here are very controlling. Wow. All right. Kung Fu CJ says only monkeys litter. Check me out Thursday, 7 p.m. Yes, indeed. Check him out, folks. Dallas says elder abuse. What happened to my body, my choice? Wonder what Target will say or do. Right. Plus, self-checkout should give customers a discount. I totally agree. All right. Reason from Just the Guys podcast says, good evening, everyone. Jessica, what's up? Pastor, always a pleasure. And to my lovely ladies, thank you so much. All right. True Stan says, thank you for all that you do. Christ is King, Dream Team. All right. Kung Fu CJ again, to God be the glory. Yes, indeed. Shrinkella just gifted 5 memberships. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our panel tonight. Again, I think this is the first time we've done this. We got to do it again. It was so much fun, and it's great to have everybody just contributing and giving your information and your thoughts. This was so much fun. Thank you so much. I'll just close out with just to kind of piggyback off of what you all said. I'm excited about this season that we're in. I'm so thankful and grateful for each and every one of you, also people in the chat, because we are true truth seekers. And you know, as far as the Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, all of that stuff, I agree with you all. We should not focus on it. We have so much stuff to get to. However, I still think we should call out lies, misinformation, and things like that. I really do, particularly on our side, because I became particularly a Republican, but more so a conservative, because we stand on something. We stand for something. And that's always drawn me to our side. You know, the left, they're all over the place. They're wonky, they're wacky. But we always stand for truth. You know, wherever it leads, we call out our own, we call out the left, but we stand for truth. And I really value that. And so, and I think it's important in order to build up and fortify organizations like TPUSA, because I think they've really been damaged by this. I do. I think they've been damaged. I think a lot of people have lost, or I don't say a lot. I think some people have lost trust into TPUSA. I know that for a fact, just from the emails that I get, because of what Candace Owens has done, and also because of the people who have remained silent while she continues to deceive. So we're going to keep calling it out, but we're not going to focus on that. And we don't. I generally think we talk about, you know, the stuff that really matters, the meat of conservatism, of important topics that matter on the right. And we're going to continue to do that. But as Ephesians 5:11 have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them, not ignore them, not pretend, expose them. And that is exactly what we're going to do, folks. We will be back. We're going to be off for the rest of this week, actually, at least Pop and Politics. So we will be off for the rest of this week. But we will see you next week. You know, Shelly is down at AmFest. I actually just found out I am actually going to AmFest. So I have to scramble tonight and get all my stuff together. Hopefully we can do some broadcasting while we're there. But we're going to be there and we're going to, bring you all the latest. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us on this panel, and God bless you. Again, until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.